basically a story of fairy tales, snow encased, grave images to never. Oh, so, so the thing is, we've been thinking about something which has something to do with these cards. Like, just if you try to focus on the picture, don't focus too much. There are maybe two hands, maybe overlapping with each other. Also, to hold someone in the truth, try it in that innate claimed idea or something of that idea. It's impossible. So, problem is that is not of mad relevance or matter. Pirate, of course, seems to exist. Fate seems to be on cheat, not really. You would be dead otherwise and might not even gain much big knowledge. Could just annoy someone. So game to fate? I don't know, it's weird. It's not even a gamer. It's not even a gambler. Most likely a crazy guy, but it's fun. It's a laugh. I've calculated rather by random idea. To me. So at some point you will most likely, in the soon future always, whoever that person is that you search for, will find that person. And if you sleep long enough, it might just be think about it. Generally. But that's not of matter. Evil incarnate sometimes has really weird ideas. Like if you watch a psychopath, he almost even slaughters his own children if they're not like him, which tends to be what they want, desire. Sometimes it's for drugs, sometimes for the evil, sometimes for something of cheat, meaning that they just try to advance on a different level and gain knowledge differently. Okay, fair enough. Good want something different. We try to meditate on it, to knowledge on me, or you know. So love, something good really desires, but also evil has it sometimes, and it has different variations, but it's almost never of cheating. No swing a given. Or swing. Oh, just a rising set of life. No, no way. Unless you know what I mean. No. The problem is a different one. What is the Eye of Lugia? You know ancient knowledge. You know that Pokemon and all these ideas, Japanese, Yu-Gi-Oh, it all has inspiration, ancient knowledge. Is there an Sith knowledge of Aseath, meaning the dark side of someone of Sakmet, but the wife of Seth, the destroyer? Not necessarily, but can be. Prophecy is rather not an exact science whatsoever. No one will speak further about that. I shouldn't. Now the question is that a relevant and maybe to deal to type of thing. Well, it's a different idea, right? What if syntax can be a trick? Okay, everyone knows that. A trickster can make a rhyme cattle and just dissolve your whole plan to get away with something like it. But every trick can be tricked. Every trickster knows that. Up front. A magician knows someone can illusionize, but illusion magic is really different than illusion powered of magic. Or sense, illusion magic, illusionary idea. Not a good idea. For life, for anything, that's bullshit, bullcrap. I've got the idea that it doesn't matter. But then there are the swords and the Baphomet, on the other hand, but not the Riddler, which is of course a female idea. Jeanne d'Arc is modern or back, hopefully. No, not just hopefully. And no dragon in the graveyard. Now, question is, what is a demon? I mean, a demon is a being of fate. And if God doesn't exist in that sense, but the All Father and the Mother always do in a family and magic, and now all life is magic, the demon is just a dark being. Can be, but shit, not most likely is not. An angel can fall to be a demon, but then it's not a demon. It's not even a diamond. It's a demon. Okay. Sociopath can fall too. Everyone can fall. Can regain, but for this, it's more difficult. Meaning, what is a demon that works for God? Well, it's not something. No. Now, what is mathematical calculation of history? Like history can be cheated. Every history book is rewritten all the time. Okay, fair enough. Doesn't matter. Smartphones, as an idea, always existed. If you view the Stone Ages and what they were, smartphones just a tool that ignites the fire or something like that to cause damage. It's still a smartphone. If done correctly, it still exists in this case. That's relevant. It's an ancient idea, just like a laptop. Information cuddled up into some idea. Okay. Language are sex noises, but not language as it's relevant. Doesn't make a difference to that. Meaning, what is work? So what is what is? There are three basic sentences, right? What is, what if, and what I. And then there's an am, which is the basic fundamental of that. So there's the am, the what I, the what if, but then not what is. So that's rather weird. So what is what is? Oh, that weird. Yeah. So that's dumb. Just like playing fate games. If you would not ever be able to win every fucking single time, and are fairly sure about it, but could still lose. It's a game of coincidence, does not, and I don't rely on it. No. So you could fate yourself on gamed ideas that you won. Okay. I'll talk differently. You play a fate game and fate yourself to the death of that on something, and then are winning all the time on that idea. But that can be defeated fairly well. This is a fairly weak conscience, if that would be real. Just like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a Schicksalsgame. Okay. So what is that? It's not a question. It's not a relevant question for the four basic questions, or the five basic questions. It's just the invisible edge to the pentagram. So the pentagram is the desire to know. But can be this as well. It can be everything. And it has a fundamental attribute. It's a contribution by desire to know to what is. By three remaining questions, as long as the am is not circled out. So the one who is the am is never part of the penta. Something completely different. It does not have worth to it. Whatever. So the question is, though, that's a relevant sentence. No, it's interesting. Work? No, it's not. It's a different idea. It's not true. No, Wahrheit, I am definitely not. That's the point. Okay. So, rather a female sentence. Should not use it. It's arrogant, but can unless you want to make your female not angry. And you should not. Which is also a weird word I put. Now, what is history then? No, not a question. What is relevant? Not a question. What is the pentagram to that? It's somehow questionable. Oh, that's an interesting idea. If you have a huh and you meditate long enough on that, you'll get lost like a weapon of sin that is unholy in every law. But if you don't meditate on it, you just circle the meditation in, you start to get that idea. So is there a magic concept for that? Of course there is. Of course there's a magic concept for that. Of course there's a magic concept for that. So, like, these are the pictures we downloaded, or this is the one we made ourselves, and we download the one upstairs. Now I go into photos, and I have this one here, which we designed for a special idea, like this, screenshotted it, and then redesigned it. Now, that's art design, right? Just a different idea, not painted. Which is, of course, painting, but only with a program. It works. It doesn't need to be a program of anyone whatsoever. It doesn't mean I can program. Reality is weird, is that? Huh. What is that? Weird. Fate is sad, sometimes. Reality is... So what is that state of mind? Well, listen to me for a second. If this is the archetype of love, right? The two circles. And why you can find love. Randomness, calculating out when randomness is not achieved by the usual being, chosen by the picture that is illusionized to this idea for even what you are becoming by the circle here, then you are set to maybe find love, but cannot claim it ever. Huh. Interesting. So the color says it all. Not more to say about that, everyone knows that. Maybe a topic for a later video. Now a magical concept to derive this into a meditation. Wow. If you meditate long enough to a geometrical pattern on this idea, meaning you stand still in all that you are, with that thought capsulated in, meaning first step, you don't watch that idea, you just are it while you are already conscious so you don't divert from anything. Second step, you don't take the lower circle and just view the two circles. Third step, you focus that you don't get lost. Fourth step, you don't transfer the emotion to the middle, to the outer ring, to the rings, or the picture. You are that emotion, and become, by imagining yourself, to what is to be the picture by this idea here. I mean, this is what becomes of you by the illusion of the picture to be in love or in boundary or not boundary. So that's a different idea of non-existence and magic. That works. It's not bad, dangerous. And that's for one idea. So, we call this the neonatology, meaning an also ein Ikonat, ungefähr, also ein Orkenach oder ein Orkene, also ein Orkene, nicht viel Orkene. O-I-E-K-E-E, or E, something like that, but not like that. It's not for revenge, and that's not true. Now, the problem, I don't care, don't try anything else. So, you circulate that idea to these 4 steps by the initiation process given that we already discussed in previous videos. Now, if you're an opportunist, this has still no gain, of course. If you're a pirate, this all has no gain to you, it's magic. Doesn't matter, I realize that. But it still matters that the knowledge is there. I got that too. It's interesting. Now, if you understand that the geometrical pattern cannot be the emotion, that's what you're trying to achieve by this oiekene. So what is the oiekene? You form an emotion in a stream of river, meaning you take yourself and an emotion and bath into some idea. This can be a geometrical pattern, can be a thought, can be yourself, imagine yourself to be or become, or something of the sort, meaning man or woman all included, somehow, but not really, eh? And then you encapsulate that emotion to be not of something that is fueling you, but can even take away what is of you. Meaning you, let's write that down. Do something like this. Watch out, danger. Oiekene. First step, caps your emotion. Second, don't lose a part of you. Meaning no thought, no energy, nothing of it. If you're psychotic and think you're someone else, you should not do this. 3. If you caps your emotion and didn't lose a part, death in can even be in a method idea. That's where voodoo comes in. This would be then voodoo to some idea. Now, step Q. Don't seek to the end. Step QQ. Don't try any. Step Z. Write in emotion. So, writing in emotion you can do by step 2. Point Q. Meaning caps to not lose your seek while no end to bath. Step 2, 2, meaning repeated the QQ. Don't make your inner be of previous. Now, ZQ. I don't use shadow or angel magic like this, or anyhow. If you want to write, you should not, because desire no try to be in any of vary. Now this is basically the process what you want to achieve in the end is this. The oiekene then will give you something of pattern by emotion, meaning it absorbs not, it tries not, it destines your thought to the stop of babbing. Like a babbing a woman, but that's not relevant. Yeah. So, how would this look like if you would paint it out? This is fairly difficult to understand, right? Caps your emotion. Okay. Understand your emotion. Be all that you are in your parts. Bath in something. And then don't seek to end. Don't lose a part. Caps to don't try any. And bath to seek by no losing a part till you write an emotion. By to helpful ideas to caps to not lose your seek while no end to bath. Don't make your inner be of previous. Meaning don't try any to seek till you write. Ending in desire to try to be in any of vary. Of pattern by emotion, by sign, of desired in calculation. No, but B of right pronged. Meaning it destines your thought to the stop of bathing. But I mean in a river. Like river. Now, um, when you understand that this emotion then can be a river of guidance, you understand what the oiekene would look like. It's a fairly abstract concept, so let's design something. For designing it, I'm fairly bad at painting with this. So, go back. So the oiekene should look like this, right? Boop, 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 and maybe a number here. That's not it. This should be it, right? Two circles there and there, and something like this, and a number here. Now that's not it either. So, what would it be like is more like this. Circle here, number here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, infinite lines. Meaning something like a sun. Now we can again write and put that more clearly. We have more space. So what it will actually look like is like this. Half a circle. Something like this. Encircled. A number here. And then bloop, 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 bloop. And then numbers everywhere. Till there is a crossing line where you understand where it goes. So that's very relevant, because that's basically what it could look like. This would be what the oiekene looks like. Because desire to be in a vary would not be achieved by the pattern. The numbers would be on the lower side, meaning what you try to achieve is then the numbers, meaning the imagined bath that you bath in. So for example, numbers, a river, the world, but not a person ever, yeah. Or something that's unreal, it looks like a person. And then you have infinite lines drawn from that in circles that then almost are like this, but will always end up in something like this here. This there. I tap on here. It's very bad. How would you try to circulate it around and make a metaphor for that in any word? Well, the oiekene would much look like a cloud. Meaning, if you try to do it in a metaphorical way or magic idea, maybe. No. Step 1. Form that emotion into something that could be clouding while you bathe in your being, while not sinning, meaning not harming what was previously defined as harm. Don't imagine someone or anything, only yourself in becoming. Don't claim anyone to be helpful with that, anyhow. Be then not the cloud, don't watch down on it, meaning don't try, don't seek. Don't form a sentence yet. Understand that your emotion will fuel your being, but you shall not encapsulate it. You need to encapsulate it, meaning treasure that moment. That moment is reflecting onto all your conscious, and from that there come words, numbers, and they will be in the clouds, sometimes, but sometimes not. And once you bathed, at some point, the reflection is everywhere, even in the clouds, bending itself downwards to everything in all the world, and the cloud just has an infinite amount of this idea. Infinite possibilities, all in one singular, treasured reflection of one moment. Now, go through the steps. Don't write the sentence yet. Don't try to make it laugh. Oh no, advance. While you bathe in the river, encapsulate that emotion. Understand when the river is stopping flow and only dragging you downwards, totally in silence, or just being part of your emotional self and we need to stop to exit it immediately. Don't do it with material stuff. You don't bathe in a river and do this process. It will drag you down and you will drown. So don't seek to the end. Know when the end is arriving. Don't form the Bennu. Don't play with the birds, the weird one. And don't try until you know the emotion. And you can see the sentence in something almost. And you exit the river. And you know you're successful when the oiekene has trapped that emotion to one singular thought towards that sentence. Now the same process repeats. The numbers are now on the below, meaning here. The circles are forming around to almost make numbers everywhere. But you now have the thought that is one of the strains. And the Bennu starts, not really, but starts to strike in any of somehow, maybe, but again, in any. And then, I don't mean a person, not a prostitute either. The step is almost finished. You now have encircled the desire to be of vary. The Bennu is now circulating and you need to stop the process. You need to stop capsing that emotion. Understand that it is now the thought towards the sentence, and all that it is that idea. It's the line drawn between where the numbers would be on underground, and all the uppercase, the clouds, would be left to be nothing more than that. Clouds. All clouded, your vision. You didn't get it yet. You suck too much. The end was not there yet, and you exited too quickly. All comes crashing down, but all lines divert in all directions. So, caps your emotion. No, not again. You should not caps your emotion to that again, but should understand where the capsulating of thought process ends by the thought that the thought became that you capsed in. So no. Derive, to strain, just lines, where you connect yourself with what you experienced while you bathed again. Like secret, or secret from a rite of ancient texts, don't I? Okay. In black. So the line is now forming it. You understood the capsulated thought, the capsed emotion that is of something that now has the thought to what the clouds were becoming, or the world was crashing down, and there you start to be knowing what it is, the oiekene. It's the end you didn't seek, before it arrived to you and crushed you. You exited the river early enough to not be totally drowned in everything, but now everything is all around that thought. The capsulated emotion has you now. So the only thing you can do is revert it back when the infinity of recycling stops, till you understand how you are in tune with this idea. And then the alchemy will form strains, patterns, and they're up here, where the free lines are. And then you see something in here, and that's the oiekene, basically. But it's good that this magic is kept secret before, because ancient magic is transforming information, right? It works that way. You can work with light like this with your shadow being, meaning Hades, doesn't matter. If you're an Apollon, you really should not use it because prophecy is not exact science. If you are a Warlock, you will never, because it's irrational, you're stronger than that. And if you're just a fated child, what the curse has said, you save already. So, that does not matter. Why would you still try to use this? Gain, pleasure, and attack maybe, or something completely else. It's fairly much of use, because in this idea an infinity reflects. So in a mathematical sentence, to formulate this just like the histoglyph, you captured an emotion that is of a moment, like a... You reverted that 2 times. Now you have something of a geometrical pattern appearing, or something of the sort, You're imagining only you in becoming what is off, and being you and becoming you, no dragging in or dragging something. And then you try to arrange the numbers in some sort that they make a sentence that would be infinitely true to you, but cannot be harm to anyone. Thus, the emotion you kept in is not of fuel, not of destined break, but only an emotion left in something, like a poker. Then you see infinity appearing. Imagine now the infinity symbol, whichever you want to imagine, but not the infinity symbol like the 8. You shall now imagine a line, and then clouds that cross where all the line is of the numbers, meaning when no number hits the cloud anymore, and then you understand that that is that emotion. That emotion now is the abstract concept you're seeing. Don't channel towards the light. Don't channel by it. Don't channel it even. View it like the omen. Try to understand it and then think of a sentence that would formulate some idea towards the equation, towards infinity. And then you got it. It's both the same, up or down, the Kabbalion. And for that, the oiekene has all encompassed, but it's not perfect. So need is infinity. And then you get it. So there's no easy step to doing this. There's one concept that could work. It's rather difficult and it's not perfect. It's a problem. So to explain a non-perfect concept in simple words, imagine the word oiekene. Start to drag the imaginated numbers around it. Be all of you in the same idea, not becoming or being of any sort or any else. Seek no. Try no. Vary not. View the word oiekene again. Perhaps the emotion you want to have in that moment. Be that moment. And then understand how the numbers rearrange that moment to what you feel towards the word oiekene. Now step 2. Draw a line from each number to any sentenced word, meaning letter in the word oiekene, which is this word like that. You can make an I here as well. That's rather dumb. Then there is an E here instead of an I, meaning this. Drag the numbers in lines towards that letter and understand how your emotion forms to the alternative letter that you first didn't try to think of. Now it should become apparent which thought is to become of that moment of oiekene, and then how the moment in you is still prevailing and still true, and being of eternity. Now oiekene stops now. Eternity is stopping. And the word is, to some idea, finished with drawing lines. But here you see why it's not a perfect idea. You now only have imperfect lines. And there's nothing of this. No crossing line to derive the numbers and only infinity questions left. Too sad. Now can do something. You can flash the word onto each other or something like it. It's all of irrelevance because this is not good magic. It's bullshit. Meaning, oiekene then forms some idea, and that you can use now. And it idealized the moment to that concept, and it's relevant. It's not true. Because everyone who would know this concept and use it would know what the person is doing. So it's fairly dangerous. Would know, and would also try to, would calculate with any failure to that, and even achieve it and make it be a failure. That's irrelevant. Don't need to protect someone who's dumb. Not like this. Sometimes I maybe tell people, not like this. This is reality. So that's yeah, that's fate. No, that's wait. How's the difference? What is difference in any sort of shadow? Can shadow have difference? No, a shadow cannot. The color towards it can have not. Color of shadow maybe. So what is that? Is there a word for path, shaded, feather? Meaning something that is of magic, but doesn't derive any word from it for itself and has no gain by it? Huh. That's weird. It doesn't work. So that's a sentence, right? No, it's not. Calculation, no, it's not. Nada, maybe. But what would be worth it? Nothing. But not really nothing, that's all. I know one neither. So that's the problem. That is the word oiekene. So that's the way. No, it's not. No. That's not the way. Oiekene is only one idea that glances by shadow from shadow, that derivates the shadows apart from each other, but doesn't give a color. It just gives you this understanding. And that is by fate, but not really. It's by your own fate chosen. How would that work? Well, fate is your destiny. And that is what is splitting it to you knowing but not splitting fate. Thus, you understand what the shining light is of a shadow, which means that is irrelevant to how the light shines. Therefore, the fate there can be sealed, but must not or could be even erased. And then the shadows are all but different and not the same. See, there would the rhyme explain, but I rather prefer something like a sentence, meaning the question of a fate itself is not what makes the shadows different. It derives its thoughts, but it doesn't say anything about that. So that moment where the shadows derivate, it's basically when destiny would kill you by this idea. Fair enough explained. No, somehow I will leave. Oh. So the oiekene, that's a different idea. That's what I explained now. So in one last sentence, a curse lifted by in devil doesn't make. So a curse, no. A spell, maybe. A rite, but no. It's just shadow. Oh no. So curse set, infinity times, spell not given, no cast, till arriving at the creeks. So that's basically the oiekene for someone who's cursed. Now, that's well explained now. How would it work if you transferred the numbers to that word, drew the lines, and got that moment flashed in your mind where the oiekene would be of relevance to your treasured moment? Well, you would need to then encapsulate that as a picture in your mind without picturing anyone in it.